Okay, guys, welcome back. Just bringing another stock to you. One of the stocks I've been looking to trade next week. This is a stock I've been in and out for a while. It's called Beyond Meat, ticker symbol BYND. So if you can look here, the stock has been trading in this sort of wedge pattern here. So it's basically been stuck in this 130 price range, about the 135 price range. So we're at 125 right now, so about 130 is about the bottom level for this stock. Now, they recently announced, I believe it was last week, that they had a factory and they're going to be making product in China. So, as you know, China is a big buyer of soybeans, soy-based products. So they're about the biggest soy eater in the whole world. So looking at the market for Beyond Meat, it's actually one of the biggest markets in the world. So just looking at the overall chart here, we used to have a high of about $167 a share. Now this was all the way back. I believe the IPO, this price was all the way up to $240 a share. But we had this huge spike here. I believe this was around the June timeframe when I believe we had a lot of virus scares in meatpacking plants. So that's what caused a huge spike in the stock. Now, in the short term, I don't see the stock getting back up to the 165, 167 price range here very quickly, unless they get some really big positive news. I was shocked to see this stock sell off Friday though. As you know, the whole tech sector sort of sold off on Friday, but it was really only down about 0.7%. But Beyond Meat itself, I believe, lost about 5.5%, 6% on Friday. So that was a huge move, as you can see from the huge red candle here. So my plan is to cost average into this around where the stock is now, about 134. I bought some shares on Friday at close. So if we get a little bit lower, I might add a few more shares. I know usually on market open, the stock tends to run up maybe 2 or 3% and then has a sell-off. But what happened last week or the week before the whole tech sector market sell-off, this stock has actually had a huge run up to almost 10%, probably in the first half an hour trading. So I think it's bound to have a decent run up. I believe it can easily test this 150 level, this level that it hit here, and you could see it's actually a key level here. It looks like we tried to break through the 150 level once here and it just couldn't do it. We tried again here. It couldn't do it either, so it was a decent sell-off here. So I think investors really want to see this stock break into the upper $140 level, which I think could easily happen. But these are some key points here. So I think in the short term, it's worth getting into the stock. Myself, I'm definitely going to be cost averaging into the stock. But my sell point is about, if it drops under $130 a share, we'll probably sell at a loss. But I think in the near term, we do have some possible upside here, especially since we broke out of this wedge pattern that we had here. It was kind of trading here, chopping along and consolidating. And it consolidated at about $130 here, which it did have some huge moves ups and some huge moves down. But it did break out of the wedge pattern, and as you can see, since we broke out, as soon as it broke out of the wedge pattern, we had a huge run up and a huge sell-off. I think this is just mainly a profit taken in the stock, but I do still see strength in the stock, especially since the stock is trading over the 20 EMA line. So as long as it's staying over the 20 EMA line, I think we're fine, and that's why I put my sell point here at about $130 a share. I do believe there's some other stocks in this price range that are just as good to get into and probably don't have the volatility as this stock does. So this is definitely one that I like in the short term, not something that I probably want to invest in long term, as I believe there's other makers of soy-based food that are coming into this market but I do believe they actually have a strong future. This company has a strong future, especially having a factory now in China. And I think there's some big upside soon. They do have their earnings report on November 2nd, so it's quite a ways out. So we could get anything that could happen here, even a run up into the earnings. So if I do end up picking some up around this 130 to 135 price range, and it does kind of chop along in this price, the same as it's done here for like a little while, I wouldn't mind holding it into earnings. I would probably sell half my shares, take some profits going into the earnings call, because anything could happen. We actually had a decent earnings report here, so we actually had a decent run up, and then we had a sell off after the earnings call. And that seems like the trend in the past earnings calls for this stock. So, like here you had a decent run up and then you had the sell off. So that's my plan on this stock. Tell me what you think in the comments. Thank you. Bye-bye.